What's up, guys? Taking the CRV to put some air in the tires. It's been sitting for about a month and a half, 2 months maybe. My water pump went out. And I don't know if I'm gonna fix it, guys, because I don't know if I want to go through the trouble of putting in a whole nother timing belt. I had literally just replaced it like about a year and a half before, and the water pump ended up giving out. I don't want to take the crank pulley out. I might give it one last shot to try to save the CRV. I think I'm gonna try to install the water pump without removing the belt, the timing belt. But to access it, you have to remove that plastic cover that's behind the crank pulley, and that's the one I don't want to take out. I mean, it's not that bad once you get the bolt out. It just comes out. You know, it just comes out. You don't have to pull it or anything. But I don't want to have to do none of that. So I think I'm just going to cut the case, that plastic case, in half so I could just slide it off of the pulley and then replace the water pump. And then see if I could give it another year or two. Because the engine is still working perfectly fine on this CRV. It can never let me down. The only thing that's let me down is these newer parts. They make them, you know how. But alright, I'm gonna fill it up with air. We're gonna go back and I'm gonna start taking it apart. See if we can fix it. I'm trying to save the little CRV, guys. I don't want to let it pass. It's just not worth putting all the money into doing the repair the proper way. We have to come up with some unconventional way to go about it. So. Alright, guys, backstory on the CRV. So we had that water pump leak, and it was just drip drop for over a month, and I thought I could just keep, topping it off. But eventually, at some point, I got to a light, and the CRV just started shaking. Like when the timing is off, it just started shaking all crazy. So I'm thinking my water pump, the pulley, is worn out to where it's pulling, and it's throwing my timing off. Screaming, I don't know if you can hear it in the background. But alright, I'm gonna put some gas, and then we're gonna go back and tear the top off and look at the water pump and see. If we have to take the crank pulley off, I guess we'll do the whole thing. I really didn't want to, but we'll find out soon. I'm trying to save the CRV. Who wants a car note? Who wants a car note? Hey guys, so we decided we're just gonna wing it, and we're just gonna start tearing the CRV down. I already got my valve cover all loose. I already took the top of my plenum. Now this can come off. I'm gonna take this off. I'm just gonna set it to the side. I'm gonna cover my valve cover so I don't get nothing in there. I'm gonna zip tie my belt to my cams here, and I'm gonna start taking my cover off. I'm gonna remove the mount right here, and I'm gonna support the engine from the bottom, and we're gonna go from there if I have to. Look at my cams, we're hitting the plastic cover on both sides. Look at that. I wonder if that was giving me some other issues, but yeah, it was rubbing on both sides. Alright, but either way, we're still gonna try to save the CRV. We're gonna start taking it apart, and I'm gonna take the power steering off. I'm gonna take my belts, loosen up my alternator, I'll take off this cover, and we'll go from there. But let me go get something to cover this valve cover. Alright guys, it has begun. I really want to save it. I'd rather have an old car and not worry about a note or anything than to have a car with a mortgage note, and then you just stressed over paying. Alright guys, we're ready. Got most of it torn apart. Got my belt zip tied. Power steering pump is off. That one's a 12mm, both top and bottom bolts. Got my alternator loose. That one's a 14 on the bottom, 13 on top. I just popped those two belts off. Should let them drop. And I'm like one step away from doing it the right way, just taking that crank pulley off and taking my water pump off, because this cover is behind that pulley. This plastic cover, the bottom one, that one's behind the crank pulley. There's two bolts holding it on back there. But
I don't have that heavy socket. I don't have that heavy socket, and I don't know if I could break it off with my regular breaker bar. I could try, but I don't know. And if I can break it off or get it loose, then I would just have to get my AC belt off, and then I would have access to that cover. Pop that off, and my water pump's right there. Literally right there. What to do? Alright, we're gonna remove them out. I already got my jack under the oil pan. We're gonna move them out, and then we're gonna see what we can see, and then we'll think about what we're gonna do. So let me get this off.
Alright guys, this is as far as I got in the process of taking out the motor mount.
It's so rusty that the whole bolt just started backing out. So the nuts not spinning, the whole thing's spinning. And I hope I can tighten it back up. Otherwise I'm gonna have to cut this to get this mount out. I have to get this little bracket off. And then I have to just hope that the bolts down there come out. But I don't think I'm gonna take the crank off, guys, as much as I want to. It'll be so much easier. But I don't have it. Don't get the tool. So I'm just gonna cut this cover right above the crank, because the bottom portion has 2 bolts on each side holding it, and then this one has 1. So, and then up here it's got 2. So I'm just gonna cut it straight across with the Sawzall, or not a Sawzall, oscillator, and then yeah, we'll go from there. And then I would have to track down the pump, because nobody carries the pump to carry the whole timing belt kit. But I don't want to pay $200 for a kit. So let's cut it, find the part, and then let's hope we can get access once we cut it. Alright, let's continue. I did have to take this off because it was in the way, and I kind of stripped this nut here. So just remove it. It's got 3 10mm, and then that's it so far. But let me cut this off.
Alright guys, so I'm still debating what to do. There's my water pump right there. I can touch it, but the plastic cover is still in the way. And I don't have the tool for the crank, for that pulley to remove it. I have an idea on how to just cut half of that plastic cover off, because it's got actually 2 bolts, 1 on each side. I have an idea, but I'm gonna order the water pump first, and I'm thinking about this, but I think I'm just gonna stay with my first idea. We're gonna cut that, and then if that doesn't work, we'll look at the rental tool. That would be a lot easier, but let's see if we could do it without removing it. So we'll leave it here. I'll see you when I get back, guys. So it's been a couple days. We ordered our water pump. I was gonna try to cut this plastic cover off to access that water pump without having to remove the harmonic balancer, but in doing so, I had some issue with these bolts. I was gonna try to remove this mount so I'd have more access. Also, this motor mount, the bolt just kind of backed out. The nut didn't even turn, so this one might be damaged. So it's one more step we have to do. We do it the correct way. And so I went and I got the tool. And this is gonna hold our harmonic balancer in place like that while we break that bolt out. And then we can actually remove that whole cover. I didn't want to do all that, but there's just no way from up top. Even if I got that cover off, the tensioner pulley and everything is right underneath this mount here, and if I can't see it to hold my timing belt in place so I don't lose the position, it's gonna be pointless. But I gave it a shot, guys. I was hoping there was a way to replace this water pump without having to tear everything off, but there's just not enough space. unless I had the engine either lifted up all the way or lowered down to get more access. But all my parts are rusty on this bad boy. I'm just kind of giving it my last shot here to try to save it, at least for a couple years. I have no issues with this CRV. It drives beautiful, but bad parts. That water pump, and it only lasted a year and some change. So, all right, and it's like freezing out. So we're gonna torch this. Use the tool, see if we can hold it in place while we break it free. It was so hard the last time I did it. I think I snapped one of my breaker bars, and I don't have an impact, so it's all just gonna have to be muscle. So I had to decide what I'm gonna do. I don't want to spray any WD or any PP blast or anything. I might use that wax method. It looks pretty interesting. I'll just put a little scrape a chunk of wax and just put it right there, and then when I torch it, hopefully it goes in. And then keep your fingers crossed that the bolt comes loose. Yes, guys, yes, yes. Thank you. I was able to break it loose. This is how I set it up. Put this breaker bar behind my strut bracket right there. Got my adapter here, and then I was just able to put my breaker bar up this way, and then I literally just put my weight on it and I bounced down really hard. And I used the wax method. I put wax instead of PB blaster all on the bolt, and it came off, guys. It's loose. Yes, I thought it was gonna be a can of worms. Oh, I'm so happy. Alright, guys, so we might still be able to save the CRV. The bolt is out. Oh, yes. Thank you. We're gonna save the CRV, guys. We're gonna save the CRV. It's freezing out. I'm surprised I got it off in the cold. There's gonna be like a freeze warning for this region for the whole week, but we got it out. Yes. Okay, now we just gotta wait for the water pump to come, and then we'll continue, guys. But this was the part I was nervous about, having that crank bolt come back out. But alright, here's the tool. It works great. I don't know if I forgot to mention, I torched my bolt for like 50 seconds after I put my candle wax pieces on top of there, and then once I did that, I just came in with my breaker bar and broke it off. So I think this was what helped this as well. Alright, guys, our water pump finally came in. It finally came in. Let's open it up. There's our water pump. But where is our gasket? Where's our gasket, guys? It was supposed to come with a gasket. Why? I do not want to wait another 3-4 days. So we're just gonna take the hit. I'm just gonna go buy one from AutoZone. It's probably gonna cost us like $3. And I'm not gonna send this back, especially with the stuff taking forever from overseas. I'm glad this was already over here. But yeah, let's just go buy the water pump gasket, and we'll finish up bringing back the CRV to life. Alright, let's go get the back here with the CRV. We're still gonna try to save it, guys. We're still gonna try to save it. Now, they didn't put the gasket in the box with the new part. And since there's a lot of stuff going on right now with shipping overseas, I'm not even gonna bother sending it back. I don't want to wait 2 weeks to get another replacement part. No auto parts carries the water pump gasket, and no auto part carries the water pump. It has to be a special order. Some of them might carry the kit, the timing belt kit, but not even Amazon carries the gasket. You have to buy the pump with the gasket, which it's nothing. It's only like $32. But so either we have a couple options. We return the part so they could send us another one with the gasket, or I can reuse my old gasket from the water pump that's in there, because it's only a 1.5 year old. I did a whole timing kit change on this thing, and the water pump didn't last. It just shows the quality of the parts. The original water pump on the CRV lasted 20 years. 20 years, guys. 20 years. Nothing new. All these modern cars, it's just more software. Everything's the same. It's just made crappy with plastic. So we're gonna save the CRV, guys. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna reuse my old gasket from the old pump, and I'm just gonna add silicone, some black RTV around it. This is gonna be the last big repair I do on this CRV. It's not gonna last. It's not gonna last anymore. It's got rust. It's, you know, if I replace one part, I damage another part and have to replace that. And even though it is cheaper to replace all these parts, even if they keep going bad, than having a car note, I don't see myself going back. I don't see myself going back in here after I do this water pump to replace anything else on the CRV. I might keep the engine and sell the engine because solid, guys. They don't make them like this no more. What's inside your 2022-24 Honda? Have you looked at your engine? It's all plastic. It's all plastic. So we're gonna save it. Okay, the time spent, the money spent, it's still gonna be cheaper than a car. Water pump off. We're gonna see how that old gasket is, and if the gasket's still usable, we're just gonna pop it in there. So this is where we're at. Like I said, I didn't cut it because you can see the belt runs that way and then down, and I can't see anything with this mount bracket here. So, and I can't take it out. It's just not, I'm not certain 100% that it's gonna hold. Bolts are already rusty, you see. Even if I heat them up and everything, I might get this bracket out, but I don't even want to deal with it. So I'm just gonna take my wheel off. I already got that pulley loose, the harmonic balancer, the crank pulley, that's already loose. So let's take it off. And all right, guys, we got our pulley bolt out. Don't lose your key. You see your key right there. Don't lose that. We're gonna loosen our idler. Look at my transmission mount. Shot. It's okay. It's okay. Okay, fix that. But let's remove this pulley. There it is. Don't lose that key. Good thing. Make sure you put this somewhere safe, guys. It is so important. There's a little key right here. Do not lose it. Let me put it somewhere before I lose it. Alright, there it is, guys. That's the other portion of our cover. We're gonna take that out. We're gonna take it out and see what's going on back there. Oh, that one. Oh, they're both rusted. Dun dun dun. So I got those two bolts off. And there's another one right here. I have to be gentle because they're already rusty. Is there another one? I think that's it. Alright, let me get that one out. We'll pop the cover off. Alright, guys. So we're in there. That's our tensioner. I'm gonna try to secure the belt in place so it doesn't move. Alright, got it zip tied from the top, from the cams. I'm going to see if I could zip tie it down here somehow so my belt doesn't move. So when I release my water pump, I could keep the belt almost in the same spot, and then I'll just make sure I put enough tension on there, and then we're good to go. Okay, so I'm looking at my water pump that I had installed with the timing belt kit, and you can see it's plastic, and it started leaking a year and a half after I replaced the timing belt. And look at this one. This one I got online. It's not plastic, so hopefully this one lasts longer. So we got 5 bolts, guys, to take off. 5 bolts. Alright, guys, so my first plan of attack was blocked by this plastic shield. I already took the bolts out, but the only way you can slide it out is if you remove the belt. So I lined up my cams, and I lined up the bottom, as close as I could, and now I just marked my belt and my pulley on top and bottom. And I'm just gonna put it back in the same spot. So I'm gonna remove the belt. I'm gonna loosen the tensioner, remove the belt so I can have access to the top of the water pump because I can't see the bolts at all. So as much as I didn't want to remove the belt, I guess I'm gonna have to. So alright, here goes nothing, guys. Let's loosen the tensioner and then we'll go from there. Alright guys, so I removed the belt to try to get this cover out. I couldn't remember if I had removed this mount before, and I'm guessing I did because it's in the way of this from dropping. It hits this bracket here. If this was off, then the plastic would just fall out. So we're not even going to entertain it. I'm not even going to think about it. I'm not going to struggle. I'm just going to oscillate it straight down the middle, and then I can slide it out the sides because it's not worth all the trouble to try to take out this mount right here. I'm not even going to bother. So I'm just going to oscillate it straight down the middle and take it out. Alright guys, here goes nothing. No turning back. I'm going to push this forward so I don't hit the body of the top of my engine there. And I'm just going to oscillate it. Let me adjust this. Let me go sideways like that. Okay. I don't know if you guys can see, but I'm just prying it up a little bit. I have to figure out which angle to hit it. Halfway there, guys, halfway there. Okay. We're almost through, guys, we're almost through. I'll show you guys right now when I'm done. I'm just trying not to nick. It's a good thing that my battery's dying. That way I don't go too deep, but let me get a different screwdriver here. And pop it in there. I just need a little tiny bit in that corner. Alright guys, I was able to cut it straight down. Just don't nick your cams, don't nick the top of your engine here. And you do have to go under that little tab with the oscillator because there's more plastic underneath it. So I went in this angle, sliced it straight down, and I used my screwdriver to push the plastic out. And, let's see if we can get this damn thing out now. Let's see. Let's see if we can get it out, guys. Let's see where I can set you down. So you can see. Right there. Okay, let's see. Okay, there's one. Just do it. Excuse me, here's one half. Here's the other half. Just try not to move your cams. Well, I guess I could leave that side. This side ain't really bothering me. Now I can actually see the water pump. I can see the water pump now and the bolts. So I guess, guys, this would be the way to do it if you can't remove this mount. Just cut this half off. Cut this half, and now we can see our water pump bolts. I can take it out. But yeah, look at this part, man. It came with the kit, the timing belt kit. Why would they give me plastic? Why? All right, but let's take out the pump. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bolts. Let's take it out and see. Let's see what's going on down there. It don't matter. This is the last repair this little CRV is gonna get. Alright, let's get the water pump out. Alright guys, I got the 2 top bolts off. And got a third one right there. There's another one at the bottom, but that held the cover on, so alright, let's get. I don't see nothing else holding it. Let me see if I can break it off now. Let me tap on it with something. Let me see. Tap on it. Right there. There it is. Oh shit. Alright guys, so our pump is off. Let's check it out. Oh man, look at our gasket. It's flat. So we're gonna have to order one. Either that or I go crazy with the silicone. I wonder what failed. I wonder if it was even the water pump that failed. Or if it was just my gasket. It looks so flat. I got no silicone right here. I don't know. But let's just install a new one. No point in thinking about it too much. Alright guys, so that was the gasket. It's flat. But it's okay. We're just gonna put it on the RTV and we're gonna put it back on. And then put everything in reverse. This cam moved on me a little bit. And I was pulling that plastic piece off, so I'm gonna clean the surface area down there, the water pump housing. I'm gonna clean that up real good, and then we'll put our belt back on. Well, clean it up real good, put our water pump on. I'm gonna decide if I want to even add that back cover. I might not, I don't know yet. I mean, what's the worst that could happen? Debris and stuff go in there. It's 24 years old. The original parts lasted me 20 years. I think if I leave that cover off, we'll be okay. I don't know. We'll see how it fits once I start putting everything back. But alright guys, we're this far ahead, so we'll continue tomorrow because it's gonna get dark. I'm always racing against the sun, so we'll just leave it right there. We'll clean up everything, install our water pump, and then go from there, guys. Cross your fingers. Wish me luck. I hope my baby comes back to life. And just to let you guys know, this CRV has been with us since it was born, since brand new, so that's why we don't want to let it die. And it's always better not to have a car note, guys. And if you were born after the 2000s, you're never gonna know how free we used to be. Now you guys are subscribers for life. Never gonna stop paying. But alright guys, we're gonna continue tomorrow. Back out here with the CRV. And I'm just gonna reuse my old gasket. Just gonna put RTV, put it under just snug, let it dry for a day, and then I'll tighten it up. But I think what failed was my gasket. I think that's what failed, and not the actual pump. If you see all those little spots, that's all like pits. All those little white spots going around, I tried to clean them out, and those are all like little pits, like where the little rubber's already gone. So I might end up keeping that other pump just in case. But I'm gonna clean up the area real good, and then we're gonna put it on. Alright guys, we're back with the CRV. Day 3. It snowed again, it rained again, it froze, so we're cleaning up the housing area. Look at this gasket, guys. It's pitted, it's nasty, but we're still gonna reuse it. I have to figure out some type of way. I'm either gonna run a bead of silicone around the gasket, or I'm gonna take it off and run a bead of silicone inside, and then put this gasket over it so it's above the housing. I'll let it dry, then install it, and then put RTV all around to make a complete seal. Those are my two options. I don't know which one we'll go with yet, but that's what I'm thinking. We're gonna create our own. Alright, so this is what I'm thinking of doing. I'm gonna put our TV inside the groove where the gasket goes. I want the gasket to stick out just a little bit above the housing. I'm gonna let it dry. And then I'll put another coat of our TV around the whole top of this gasket because it's ugly and pitted, you can see that. And then I'll come out further, get it all on there, and then we'll install it. I think that's what I'm going to do, that way I could get a nice seal from up here, even if this is ugly. That's what we're going to do, guys. We'll see if it works. Yes, it's not the proper way, but we'll see if it works. Alright guys, I filled in the cavity all the way around. Just stuck it in there. If I had a nice fine tip to this thing, I could almost just keep building it up and make my own. I don't see why it wouldn't work, but I filled it up. Then we're gonna drop our gasket in. And I literally just wanted to sit above it. Get it in its right place. Make sure your little grooves are in. Then I'm gonna clean it up, make it look a little nice. But here's the idea. You see how the gasket is gonna sit above the housing? It ain't gonna sit that much, but it's gonna sit above the housing somewhat, like that. Then we're gonna let it dry. And it should be high enough to when I install it, it compresses everything down, makes a tight seal, even if the gasket is all funky. Alright, I'm gonna clean it up, let it dry, and then we'll go back out there and install it. Alright, now I'm gonna take my Q-tips. Just gonna clean. I'm gonna clean the residue. Clean the residue off. I just want the gasket build up. I don't want anything on the inside. That way when it dries and I put my last coat of silicone, I can add some more TV in there, and then when I crush it down, in theory, it'll make a better seal. Okay. Alright guys, I'm gonna clean all this little stuff on the inside there, but I'm also gonna clean off the excess around the outside because I need that surface clean for when I install it. I'm gonna put a little bit more TV on this surface here, and I don't want it to be all nasty, because in theory this RTV here will make the final seal, and this will just compress down. So let me finish cleaning it up, and then we'll let it dry, and then we'll go out there and install it. Alright guys, so I have it somewhat even, as much as I'm letting it come up all the way around. I ran my finger all the way around the gasket. I want it as flat as possible. I just wanted to kind of fill in those little pits and stuff. But this is it right here. From flat to not flat. We're gonna let this dry.
Then we'll put some more TV around it and install it.
Alright guys, never got a chance to install it, but it's dry. See my gasket sticking out all the way around, so this should give me enough pressure when I bolt it down to keep the coolant from falling out. Alright guys, we out here doing it in the dark. It's gonna snow pretty bad in 2 days, so I need to get this installed. So I'm gonna put my new water pump on. This is dry already, so I'm still gonna put some RTV. I'm just gonna tighten it up. Should be enough silicone under this gasket to make a pretty good seal. And then I'm gonna see if I could get it done today. I mean, at least put my belt and my crank pulley and everything in there. I won't be able to see much, but hey, you gotta do what you gotta do, guys. You gotta do what you gotta do. So, alright guys, water pump is going in. Wish me luck, guys. Wish me luck. Can't even get it in, guys. I hope I don't drop any bolts. Oh, come on. Come on, water pump, come on. Start. Okay, so let's see, got line it up, but I can't see. Alright guys, so getting my bolts going. Got my first 3 on. Using my socket to get it on there. I'm gonna tighten them down, and then we'll go from there, guys. Wish me luck, wish me luck. Alright, let's get it in there. Alright guys, got my water pump in. Now we gotta start putting all our pulleys and our belts. I'm gonna throw my crank on there with my AC belt, and then I will run my other 2 belts from there. So, but at least we got the water pump in, so let's get that out of the way. Alright guys, it's 2 hours later. We got our pump on, we got our belt on, put it back to its marks. So I was loose on this side, so what I did is I turned the crank bolt to where this had enough tension, and then I went from underneath and I used this pry bar. And I pried this pulley back this way. Pried this pulley, the tensioner, I put some pressure on it, and as I held it in place, I used my 14mm ratchet to tighten it up. So my marks are all lined up, everything's still lined up how I originally had it. So now we can continue installing our actual crank pulley, our belts, our tensioner, everything. So, and then I gotta replace this one. This pulley I feel like is shot, but we're gonna get it done. Alright, putting our cover. I'm not gonna reinstall the back cover on the right side here. I'm just gonna leave it open like that. But I am gonna put this bottom cover. We're gonna put our crank pulley, our AC belt. Then we'll run our alternator belt, and then I can't remember what else.
I have to check my diagram. Let's check our diagram. Let's see, hopefully that. Here it is. Let's see if we can remember. Okay, so this is the back. This is. Alright, so no, our alternator and our crank is our belt all the way at the back. Then it's the second one is our AC and our idle, and then the very front is our power steering. Okay, so let's see if we can put that on. It's already 12 o'clock. It's super dark and it's freezing out, but we're almost there, guys. We're almost there. I don't know if I should keep on going. My toes are super numb. I can't feel them. I don't know if I should keep on going or just call it, continue tomorrow. I think I'm just gonna call it. But this is how far we got so far, guys. So alright, guys, this is as far as we're gonna get. I'm gonna leave it there. I can't feel my toes. I could continue and probably finish it up today, but tomorrow's another day. Let's just knock it out tomorrow, guys. Let's get some rest. We made progress. Crank pulley's on. Look at my trans mount. Shot. More things to fix, but alright, guys. We're gonna call it. And then if you need to find water pump bolts, if your bolts are shot, the thread is M6-1.0. So that's your water pump bolts. But we're almost there, guys. I just gotta adjust the alternator. I got my idler, my AC, and my crank in place. I would just have to put the rest of my covers, get my motor mount in place. Hopefully it's not shot. And then do our valve cover, and then power steering pump, coolant, bleed it, jump it, start it. Well, before we jump in, we start it. Our plenum and everything, obviously, but alright, we're almost there, guys. We're almost there. The CRV will live again! Alright. Look at the moon, guys. Look at the moon. Alright. I had enough moonlight to see, so that was good. But like I said, we'll just continue tomorrow. Alright, guys, we're back with the CRV. Snowed. But that ain't gonna stop us. We got the cover on. I'm about to tighten up the alternator right there. And then I'm gonna run my other belt, tighten up the power steering pump. Then get my mount in place. And then do my valve cover, my plenum. And then we'll put some coolant in here and test it out. I did not put this back in, so we're sacrificing it. It's gonna be open in the back, but it's alright. This is how we're gonna do it, guys. This is how we're gonna do it. We're one step closer. Alright, guys, we got our alternator bolt. Got it in. Now I'm using the little tiny tab there and my pry bar to push the alternator back. Put a little bit of tension on it. I'm gonna tighten it up, and then our first two belts are on. We can move on to our power steering pump. I never took out the bottom bolts. I just loosened it up just so I could move the alternator forward. So that's where we're at. Alright, alternator's tight. I gotta get this mount on before I can put my water pump, because the hoses all sit on top here. And then I'm crossing my fingers that this motor mount tightens back up. I hope it tightens back up. And we're one step closer, guys. One step closer. So, Obviously, if this is somebody else's car, I don't recommend you do any of these hacks and hack up the plastic and stuff. But if it belongs to you and you have no other choice and you're about this close to junking it, do what you gotta do. Do what you gotta do. Alright, let the other mechanics criticize or whatever. You know, you just gotta do what you gotta do. And this is what we're doing to save this little car and to keep on going. So I like to pay 0 car note. And it's a great learning experience. So this is my second time tearing apart this type of engine and messing with the timing belt and the water pump and everything. So it was way easier than the first time I did it. The first time I did it, I had to piece together literally like 20 videos. I had to watch 20 videos of somebody doing a timing belt change, and it was a process because everybody leaves a little bit out of their videos that they don't tell you. Literally, everybody leaves a little tiny bit of info out. So I had to go back and forth and watch it and visualize it in my head. I literally visualized me taking it apart in my head. And from doing that, I was able to get all the info I needed. I read a bunch of forums. I literally had to do a lot of homework before I even went in here. And I was able to do it. I mean, what's the difference between somebody off the street or somebody normal and a mechanic? Even if they repair any car, they still go to the book, they still go to the website, they still have to find the instructions. So as long as you're good at following instructions and taking things apart and you remember how to put it back together, you know, if you have to label every bolt that you take out, and then so be it. But you can do it, guys. You can do anything, guys. All right, don't get discouraged.
And also, start off slow. I mean, if you never changed brakes and you've never done, simpler stuff, obviously you don't want to go into timing belt or taking apart the whole top of your engine or anything. But if you do enough homework, you can do it, guys. You can do it. You can do anything, guys. Everybody had to get taught what they know how to do. All right. The only difference is once they know how to do it, they think they're the shh. They want to criticize other people for trying, but that's how it used to be done. All right. You had to learn. All right. And unfortunately, people don't teach anybody anything anymore. So they want for you to learn. Everybody wants for knowledge, which you should give people knowledge. Let them do it on their own. We're way better off if we all are able to be self-sufficient. So don't get discouraged, okay? But yeah, start off slow, and eventually you can do more and more things. The more you start learning, it like opens up your mind and you understand how things work, and it gets so much simpler. And then you start getting into bigger things. So just keep at it, guys. Keep at it. We jacked up the front. I was able to get my mount over my bolt here. One of them partially came out. The other one, the whole thing came out. I should anti-seize that, but I think we'll be okay. Alright, now that that's in place, tighten that down, and then I'll put my power steering pump. That one just goes right here, like that. Run my belt before I start tightening the bolts down. And then right now is the perfect time to cut my hoses and move them down a little bit because they expand eventually, and that's how you get leaks. And your clamps kind of, they're not as tight. They don't have enough tightening force like when you first got it. But I'll take care of that now. Clean up all this oil and stuff. But we're there, guys. We're like right at the finish line. There's a valve cover. It's temporarily on. We still got to bolt it down. We're gonna bolt the mount still up to this thing, but there it is. There it is, guys. We're almost there. So just like I thought, this one's just spinning. So I'm gonna torch it. Hopefully I'll get this nut to expand a little bit and thread down. Otherwise I'm gonna replace that mount. I don't really want to. Put this one's in. So at this point I jacked the engine down a little bit to clear the bracket for the motor mount. So once I got the bolts in the bracket, I dropped the engine back down to put the weight on that mount. The whole weight of the engine could be on this mount, and after I heat it up, hopefully it'll let me turn that nut. So I had already started stripping it, so there's barely enough for me to do it, so I'm going to have to be very careful. Okay, once I get that, then I can do my power steering.
continue.
Alright guys, yay, we were able to get our mount on there. We were able to tighten it up. I hit it with the torch, and then I hit it with the impact, and I was able to get that nut down. I just let the whole weight of the motor fall on it so it could put pressure on that rubber mount so it wouldn't move around. We got our power steering pump on. Just gonna run our lines. And this is what I'm talking about. You see how these hoses flare up and break, and then they start leaking? So I'm just gonna cut that tip off. That way I can get this down further in there. And you just do that to all your hoses. Even down here I might do that before I install everything. And that's how you eliminate those leaks. And now I just gotta get my valve cover tightened down, my plenum, and then I'll be ready to jump start it. Well, first I gotta throw my coolant in, and then I could jump start it. And then we'll drive it and see if it's gonna live or not. So, cross your fingers. Wish me luck, guys. Wish me luck. Alright, we cut our hoses. And since it's freezing out right now, I had to torch the hose a little bit to soften it up to get it back on. But I did all my points right here at the reservoir. Do have to hit that one down there. I could do it now. I might do it now. Now stop my power steering leak. But alright, let's continue. These valve covers on. Still gotta get my valve cover grommets. These are my homemade ones. I literally took 2 washers and I sandwiched them between a piece of hose, and then once you tighten it down, it makes a little sandwich and it holds it in place. This is supposed to be temporary. Probably gonna replace those as soon as I can. But alright, let's finish up. We just got our plenum, our spark plugs, and our ground. And we can fill it with coolant and start it. Almost there, guys. Almost there. Alright, let's finish it up. Alright, guys. Spark plug wires are in. Our plenum's in. These little spacers right here go right there. So when you pop that off, don't lose them. I lost a bolt. So I'll wait to reinstall that until I get another one. But so far, everything is on. Throttle cable. This one actually went over here. I put it in the wrong spot, but sorry, I'm gonna leave it like that for now. I'll switch it out when I get my new grommets. Let's fill it up. Now I can get these hose clamps off of here. I can fill it up, and we can jump it. But before that, I have to tighten up the crank pulley with my rental tool here before I take it back. So I'm gonna hit it with the torch, warm it up, and crank on that bad boy. When I was reading about these Honda crank pulleys, everybody was saying if you don't torque them down all the way, whatever the spec is, that sometimes that bolt comes flying out. And I didn't have that issue when I did it the first time, so hopefully we don't have any issues with this one. Since it's cold, hopefully it tightens up. But that's the last thing we gotta do. We'll start it. Alright, let's finish it off. We're almost there, guys. I'm filtering my coolant that I caught in my oil pan there. And I'm just filtering it through coffee filters to get all the debris and all the stuff out of it. I already filled the one. This is my second one. And then we'll just top it off with a new bottle if we have to, but there's another way to save a buck, because it's $35 for each container of coolant. We're almost there, guys. We're almost there. It's taking up a lot of filters. But obviously nobody recommends reusing your coolant, but think about it. If there's a possibility that I start this car and it just timing and everything is just shot, why would I spend hundreds of dollars when this is like the last repair? Makes no sense. Why would I throw away all that money? So obviously nobody recommends it, but you gotta do what you gotta do. Alright guys, here's the moment of truth. So we're going to the junkyard, or she'll live another day. We've spent less than $80 on everything. And it took us about a week because we had to do all this in the afternoons, and the sun was going down super quick, and it is snowing. So you just gotta do what you gotta do, guys. You gotta do what you gotta do. But let's see. I know it's gonna need more coolant for sure, but I just wanna hear it turn on and see what it does. Oh, she's alive! Who's better than you? She's alive, guys. She's alive. She lives another day. Yes. She lives another day, guys. She lives another day. Those are my pulleys. Don't worry about those. But she lives another day. Oh, yes. Everything worked out perfect. Oh, I'm so happy. I'm so happy, guys. I'm so happy. I love my old car. She lives another day, yes. And guess what? I only get better because more knowledge. The more junk I repair, the better I get. So don't let them tell you otherwise, guys. So happy, guys. I am so happy. It's just my pulleys, my idler pulley. So don't worry about that. We'll take care of that later. She's going, guys. She's going. Oh. You don't understand. You feel better when you do things yourself. Guys, you gotta do it yourself. Can't keep us down. It can't keep us down. You get it? I'm so happy, guys. I brought my CRV back to life. This is like the 4th time I revived it. It would have been in the junkyard already getting picked apart by the vultures. But we brought it back to life. Hell yeah. Who's better than you? See, suckers. Hell yeah, baby. Hell yeah. I'm so happy. Today's a good day. I don't care if my toes are falling off. Today's a good day. Alive, guys. She's alive. Running. The CRV is running. It feels good. Timing didn't jump. Nothing. Oh yeah. Back in action.